Welcome to another video. Hi, we are the Nomad tribe, a Somali British family that have been travelling Southeast Asia for the last 8 months. And today I am talking to you from Penang in Malaysia, which I've been here a few times and it is honestly one of the most amazing places. We have come here for a few days and we're staying at the Shangri-La Golden Sands, which is surprisingly incredibly affordable, much more affordable than literally every single Shangri-La that I have seen all around the world. So we're just enjoying a couple of days here. I'm going to give you guys a room tour in a second, but first I wanted to show you firstly not only this incredible balcony that we've been given, but also this view from our balcony and just a bit of a bird's eye of the whole resort. So it's got something like 2 swimming pools, a jacuzzi, a water park that you guys can't see that's hidden behind the trees over there. It's there if you guys can make it out. And it's right on the beach, so we can just take a couple of steps and literally be right on the beach and just enjoy. If we get a bit bored of the swimming pool, go and swim on the beach. We have spent the morning just faffing about and having an amazing time with the kids, and they've absolutely loved it. I mean, bring any kid anywhere that has anything water related and you have got yourself a lovely morning. So they've had a bit of a splash about and now we are ready. We're about to head into town. We've got a few things that we really want to do and a few things to tick off, so come along for the ride. As always, I will be providing cost of everything that we do. Just before we head out, I'm going to give you guys a tour of the room. This is when we first checked in because nobody needs to see the room after it's been checked in, so let's go do the tour. Is very family friendly, and that was one of the reasons why we booked it. Like I said, they have multiple different things like during the day they have activities, they have stuff like this, so the kids have loved staying here, which is really nice because we have been budget traveling. We haven't had the luxury of staying at nice places. A lot of the places that we've stayed have been either just a pillow to put your head down in the middle of just traveling, or it's been a little bit better. I mean, we haven't stayed in slums and we haven't stayed in hostels, but it's not been luxurious stays the whole time that we've been traveling. So getting to spend a bit of time in a resort is actually phenomenal and pretty amazing. So we're enjoying every single minute of it, which is why we haven't really left and done much touristy stuff since we've been in Penang. We've just been spending a lot of time in the accommodation, especially considering the room that we have as well. So we are going to hail and get a grab and then be on our way. So we left the hotel and we've been dropped off now. We asked the grab driver if he had any recommendations for Indian cuisine, and he has dropped us off at a restaurant called Kashmir. It's been a while since we've had Indian cuisine and we've missed it a lot. The outside looks just as you'd expect it to look, quite old school colonial buildings, and the whole area pretty much looks the same. This is, for any of you that don't know, this is essentially how Penang or Georgetown looks. We're going to explore Armenian Street in a little while, which is where, if you Google Penang, you will see a lot of street art, and Armenian Street has some of the most incredible street art I've seen. So we're going to head there after, but I'm starving, so let's go and get something to eat. So we've sat down and made our order. There is nobody here, but I'm not going to read too much into that. Hopefully it's just an odd time. It's about 3 something, I think. So I'm just hoping it's an awkward time for people to eat, and that's why there is nobody here. We're literally the only people. But like I said, I'm not going to read too much into it. We've made our order, so I'm just going to wait for the food to come and we'll see. I'll let you guys know on the lowdown if the food is good or not. But okay, so you know when life is trying to give you some hints, like it's throwing hints your way left, right and centre. You walk in, there's no one there, service is really slow even though there's no one there. You make your order, the food is expensive, and we came off of the recommendation of a taxi driver, and then you Google, whilst you're waiting for your order, you actually look on Google for their reviews and they're 3.6, and then you think, surely it's going to be fine, like their food's going to come and it's going to be fine. How, like, you can't really get Indian food wrong because of how much spices and stuff is in there. I should have just walked in, saw that there was no people, and then walked straight out. I really hate to give any restaurant like a terrible review or say that their food was not good, but their food was not good. We had to send back a butter chicken. So we ordered a paneer dish, butter chicken, some rice and some naan, etc. We sent back the first butter chicken because it looked like, you know, like radioactive red. Like Nadia had 2 bites of it and her lips were red, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. So we sent it back, and then he brought out another one and it was almost just as bad. So we didn't eat the... Why is butter chicken bright red? I had questions, but I didn't want to ask it. But the food was not great, so I would honestly give that... I mean, the rice was good, naan was awful and dry, but the paneer dish that we got was good, so that saved them, and I'm going to give them about a 3 out of 10. But right now we are outside, and the restaurant is outside Kenny Hill Bakers, so we're just about to head in there. I've seen queues and really good reviews of this place, and I didn't know we were so close, so I'm thinking here for some coffee and for some... they've got desserts as well, so we might stick around for a minute and try and get a seat. I'm going to join the queue because there is a queue, and then if the queue is too long we might leave because we've got things to do. The total for the meal that we had, just to wrap that restaurant up, we got 2 steamed rice, 2 garlic naans, 1 butter chicken, 1 paneer masala and some pakoras. And the total cost was 139 ringgit, so about £22. So cost-wise, not terrible at all. Oh, and 2 waters, sorry. We got 2 small bottles of waters as well. So cost-wise, really affordable, really good value. Taste-wise, well, we just did a monologue on that, didn't we? So taste wasn't amazing, but hopefully it's going to be redeemed here. So the queue is moving. And it's moving fast. I can't remember the last time I queued for food actually. So we ended up deciding against Kenny Hill because the queue was very long. And we have decided to go back there tomorrow for lunch and dessert. They had an amazing selection of cakes that just looked like they looked incredible. So we are definitely going back there tomorrow. But right now we're in a bit of a time crunch, as always, when are we not? And we are walking the streets of Penang. So this is what I mean about Penang, is that like when you're in Georgetown especially, everywhere you turn just has some of the most beautiful colonial style buildings that you've ever seen, and just random, like very random, I think you can see there that we passed earlier, graffiti on walls. There's much more where that came from, by the way, in terms of the graffiti and the colonial style buildings. We have decided to walk so that we can stop and admire some of the things along the way. And I always love the fact that that is a completely free activity to do. So walking is one of the best ways, in my humble opinion anyway, and as someone that's been traveling with kids, walking is the best way to just see things accidentally. So I learnt this, let's call it the hard way, where a few years ago we were traveling, we were going to I can't remember what country, I want to say Barcelona, but I don't actually think it was. And I had this like very militant, go from here to here to here itinerary. But by the time we came back, there were so many places we hadn't seen or visited or just even stumbled upon. And I was so confused because I was like, but I had such a good itinerary. And then the next holiday I went on, I was a lot more loosey-goosey. I was like, let's schedule some walks in between and unscheduled stops, stuff like that. And I managed to see so much more in that trip. So that's when I decided, actually, sometimes having an itinerary that's so like tight or so like, oh, I'm going to go from here and then straight onto here and then straight onto here, means that you actually miss some really incredible things, and that doesn't give you the opportunity to just stumble upon something. Like this walk here, you can see how beautiful the streets of Penang are, and sometimes you miss small things like this, and just seeing images and stuff that look like this when you're in a cab or when you're going from one place to another. You miss all of the small moments in between. Like, look at this. Look at this archway of just this painting. It's incredible. And look at the building that it's literally attached to as well. Again, the architecture and the style is just so pretty. So the style of these buildings are just so incredible. And the most magical thing about Penang is I love these like little archway walkways. And look at the tilings on the floor, by the way. All of the different, like, I'm guessing these are houses, shops, whatever they are, have their own unique individual tiles. And it just makes the whole thing so pretty. And these are, again, the type of things that if you're going from A to B, you miss little quirky, beautiful things like this. And some people might be like, it's just a building, babes, calm down, or, oh, actually that's not pretty. But I think stuff like this is beautiful. And it's like unexpected beauty, especially the tiling and the flooring. It's not the newest, but the patterns and prints are really beautiful.
But there's, Mum,
Hey, Lena.
there's some broken.
Yeah, some are broken, Mama. Some of them are a bit old, but some of them are not broken like these ones. So we've continued to walk. We've been walking for about 10 minutes now, and literally each street is just as pretty, if not prettier, than the street before. The buildings, the style, you've got some mixed with some modern architecture and the old colonial style. You also have some that I'm guessing either these are there all year round or they're left over from Chinese New Year. But we're still just enjoying the architecture. To give you guys a mid-episode rundown of cost, so we took a cab from the hotel and that was £3.92. I think it was like 22 bring it. I'll put the exact amount on the screen. And then we had a late lunch which was £22, so it was either 28 or 38 ringgit, so about £22. And now we've just been walking, which has been completely free. We're going to stop over somewhere and get probably a dessert and some coffee if we can, or at least some coffee or a cold drink, because it is, as always, it is warm. I think we're getting to a bit more of a congested area because I'm starting to see more people and more restaurants as well. I'm actually not sure what road we're on. Oh, we're on Love Lane. Okay, actually, I did do some reading on Love Lane and the history behind it. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'll put it on the screen because I'm actually not very sure that I'll be able to relay this story accurately. So I'm going to put on the screen exactly what the history of Love Lane is. And the story that I remember, this hopefully will give us a bit of background. So where's my husband? And you see a sculpture there of someone. I can't really make out the rest of what it says, but I do see some words that probably match up with what I'm putting on the screen right now. And then there are some other bits of art on the screen here as well. Some of them of Gaza, and then a musician playing a guitar. And then you've got other Mona Lisa, graffiti, and you've got more of the iron graffiti here on the wall. So Georgetown is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I think it got that not that long ago actually. I don't think it's been a UNESCO World Heritage Site for long, but it is. And you can see the trusted 7-Eleven behind me, because literally Southeast Asia, everywhere you turn you're going to find a 7-Eleven. So I think we're on the main bit here. I'm going to go and find some coffee and then also start heading to the main Armenian Street strip, which is where some of the more famous murals, paintings and iron sculptures are. So let's start heading there. So we're just walking past one of the oldest mosques in Georgetown. So I just read something on the plaque that it was built in 1801, and I think it's more of an Indian mosque, but that doesn't really make a difference, but it looks amazing. I would go inside and give you guys a walk around, but there's a few people there, so I think they're getting ready for prayer. So I'm just going to show you guys the outside, and it's really pretty, and again it's like right smack bang in the middle of colonial-esque looking Georgetown. So really pretty, and it's huge as well, considering it's bang in the middle of town. But we're still walking, we're exploring. The sun is making a bit more of an appearance. You've got all of the different shops there as well. We're still in search of a good coffee shop. So Penang, and Georgetown specifically, is known for their really hipster coffee shops and really hipster cafes and stuff like that. So we're trying to find a really cute one inside that we can show you guys, so I can show you the cost of like coming to one of these coffee places, and also I just want to experience it myself, to be honest. So we're still on the hunt, and we keep getting distracted. We keep seeing really cool and beautiful things and stopping to take pictures and do all of that stuff in between, but I don't think we're far from a few more of those. So we stopped off in a cafe. I wouldn't call it the most quirkiest one in Penang. It's just a street cafe, literally called Two Street Cafe. We got a latte and Nadia got a, what did you get?
Lemonade.
And a lemonade.
It has orange pieces at the bottom, which is very...
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it literally just looks like this on the outside, and it's just a couple of seats all across, and yeah, so, but it is literally across the road from Armenian Street, which we are heading down, and also right opposite that beautiful temple that we were just at. Here is Armenian Street, and then in there is like you'll see this area in Instagram a lot, and people will hike up the colours, but this is the road with all of the umbrellas. It's quite heavily congested, so I'm not going to go all the way down, but everyone is so colourfully dressed and everything looks so colourful, and it's so pretty, and what a place, what a place. So right now we are walking down, like I said, Armenian Street. A lot of sellers of, like, it's just your usual famous road style. There are cafes, there's people selling things, there's dangerous roads, but a car could come from any minute, and everything looks like really cute. So we have, like, we're hydrated, so we finished the coffee, but we heard that there's a really good cake shop just up the road from someone that was having coffee near us, and that's where they were heading after, so they made a recommendation, and we're going to go there to try and find some cake, because the one that we were at, they didn't really have like good looking cakes, and they said if you want one, just walk down Armenian Street. So they directed us, so we're walking down to try and find that. But as we're walking, I want to make sure that we're all taking in the sights of Penang. you can see that people have started recording themselves just because of the colours and how it looks. And literally, I would say 99% tourists, and everyone's just hunting for the street art. So one of the more famous ones, like I was saying, is literally right here. You'll see it in a second. That's this one right here. Oh, wait. So this image right here, which is, well, I don't know the official name actually of it. I'll put it on the screen. But you can see that it's the two children on the bicycle. And there's a lot more like art that's centered around children. And so this is one of them, probably one of the more famous ones. We're gonna keep heading round. I actually think the cafe that he mentioned is just across the road, but there are other like artsy bits dotted around as well, and quite a few people. The one thing that I will say about Penang, and like a lot of cities in Southeast Asia, is that it is not very wheelchair friendly. So where we're actually staying is called Batu Ferringhi, and that's near the like beach, Andaman Sea side area. And where we are right now is Georgetown. So Georgetown is where a lot of the touristy stuff is. But both places, even Batu Ferringhi, where we were walking around, it's not very wheelchair friendly, the main streets. So you can see here, much like a lot of cities, like we're just walking on the road because there's not really anywhere to walk on. So like the buggy is on the side street, and every now and again you'll get a road like that, but then it'll just, like a pavement like that, sorry, and it will just stop being a pavement. So if you are in Southeast Asia, you better get like comfortable with not having pavements everywhere like we're normally used to. But a lot of the drivers and motorcyclists are completely used to it, so it's never a thing. So we've made it into a cafe. The cafe is called Reggae Cafe, and we have ordered a few cakes. I want to show you guys how their cakes look, because I think this recommendation was pretty good. Their cakes look insane. Like, we almost didn't know where to start with ordering. So they've got Oreo, passion fruit cheesecake, plain cheesecake. These are just the cheesecakes, right? So Basque, turtle cheesecake, orange cheesecake, mocha, caramelized cashew, chocolate, and then you've moved into some of the other cakes. I'm not going to name all of them because they all look absolutely insane. Look at that carrot cake. And one of the cakes that we ordered actually is gone chocolate layer cheesecake. That's intense, isn't it? Tiramisu, chocolate mint, and they had a few more, but they're up there for people that are ordering. And then these are, I'm guessing, a bit more of the plainer cakes. So you've got apple and cinnamon, chocolate brownie. What's this one? Chocolate bundt cake, bagels, and then this is what we would see at like Costa, isn't it? Like walnut banana cake. Mango, maybe not so. What's that one? Milk loaf. Yeah, so these are your any cafe ones, but those cakes looked insane. So we're done ordering, and I wanted to give you guys a glimpse of what the actual cafe looked like. So Reggae Cafe, inside the actual cafe in the main room, it looks like this. So really cute interior. I like the style, and true to the name or theme of Reggae Cafe, of course you're going to put Bob Marley on the wall. And they've got more like tropical themed aesthetics here, and it does kind of go on a bit. I think there is more rooms and more like styles a bit further inside. And again, the aesthetic is really cute. Okay, so we ordered 3 cakes to try, and they're all like random flavours that we wouldn't normally get, so we didn't go for the basic banana bread or chocolate cake. We went with things that actually we're really excited to try, so we're going to wait for them to come, and I will let you guys know the prices and the flavours in a minute. So we ordered a apple lemonade, strawberry matcha drink, the onde cake, which is huge, I don't like, really big, some chocolate orange cake thing, and a mango cheesecake is what we went with in the end. And everything looks amazing. We don't have the bill, so you pay at the end. So we are going to taste these. Nadia, do you want to taste one?
And I want to taste one too.
Okay, you can taste one too, Alina.
I want to taste one.
What's that one?
Like orange chocolate cheesecake, I think. Layer cheesecake, yeah.
Nadia, can I have this one? I want to try it on the other.
Is it good? Yeah?
Please.
So we finished up with the cakes and everything was really, really nice. My favourite was the mango cheesecake. That tasted really, really good. And then probably second up was the orange one. And then ending with the onde, but they were all so fantastic. We need to pay, so I'm not sure, like I said before, exactly how much it is, but we're going to find out. So it was, in total, it was 2 drinks and then 3 slices of cake. So we are just waiting to find out how much we owe. Let's see, this is not us. This was the people before, but if you want to check out what they ordered, here you go. Seems like they got a bunch of stuff, but this gives you a bit of an idea on the cost of food as well. Hi, can I pay please? Onde, yes. And the 2 drinks, yes, 108. Pay by card, please. So 108, I'm gonna figure out as soon as I've paid what that translates to. So this is the problem with traveling as well, is that I normally move money from one account to another. And thank you, and the card that I use for everyday spending isn't the card with the most amount of money in, so I just transfer as and when I need it. The good thing about that is, the whole time we've been on the road, I have not had money taken out of my account, because you always get scared and you always hear horror stories of people using an ATM and then the next thing they know there's been £600 taken out of their account. So there was one time in one of my accounts that someone tried to take out £120. I had my card, everything was fine, they just tried to do an online shop somewhere in Peru, and it was declined because, like I said, I don't keep a large amount of money in that account, like my everyday account that I use when we're out. I just transfer whatever I think we'll need for the day in. So there wasn't any money in there. If there was, it would have been a whole headache to go around and appeal, like, you know what I mean, go to the bank and tell them, oh, fraud, and then you have to do a whole thing and wait a while for your money to come back. So that's been like the tip that I've been using, and like I said, in doing that, it means that I haven't lost a single penny during the travel, and it also makes me feel more comfortable in that, oh, if there is a situation where my card is cloned or if anything does happen, then like, firstly, you'll instantly know about it if you're keeping on top of your accounts anyway, but secondly, it's not like, oh crap, I should have done something about it. Like, okay, you tried, there was no money in there, good luck for next time. But that also does mean that sometimes when I'm not keeping on top of how much is in the account, I go to pay and then it's like, oh, sorry, it looks like you're poor. Can you not afford this meal? So I do get weird looks sometimes when I go to touch and it's like, oh, you don't have enough funds, but I do. I just need to transfer more in, so that's exactly what happened there. We are now making our way to the jetty. So we took a bit of a stroll and we finally made it here to Chew Jetty. It's just behind me. So a bit of information about this area is that it's existed for years and years. I think it's one of the most famous jetties, probably in Malaysia. And it was originated because Chinese immigrants moved onto the jetty. So they're like water houses or waterfront houses. And before it just started off as a fishing village, but now it's evolved to a bit more of a commercialised area. So they get a lot of visitors every year and it's on the list of things to do in the area. It is still a place where people live, so we do have to be really respectful still. So we're going to be respectful and not be loud douches, I guess. But this is how the inside looks. So really, really beautiful. And you can see a lot of the Chinese heritage in the buildings. I still don't think we've gotten to the actual jetty part. We're still just on the outskirts. And I think you have to walk through that tunnel to get there. So here is a continuation of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. So welcome to Chew Jetty. I think Chew might be the original people that settled here. Ancestor origin, so you can see China and how 75 units. Okay, you've got the visiting times and stuff, but let's go through and give it a look. Right now it's 7:22, so it's quite late, and most of the places now are closed. But actually, all of the places are closed. It's pretty dark in here, so you can see that it's actual residences of people that live here, and it's quite shaded from the outside. There's roofs pretty much going all across, and some of the stores I love this, some of the stores actually aren't closed, they're still open, and they've got really unique stuff here, but a lot of it is closed. Like I said, it's quite late in the day now, and I suspect a lot of people have just gone home for the evening, but there's still a few open. It's quite narrow pathways, but in keeping with the overall theme, there's still some wall art or graffiti art, if you like, across some of the buildings. It's quite a unique place, right? You can see people just sitting around their houses. I wonder if they find this annoying, or if they're like, God, when are these people going to leave? Because I think there was visiting times, if I remember correctly, at the front, and visiting times ends at, was it 9? So do they have to just have people walking past their house every single day for 12 hours? So you can't even, bless them, just have windows open, or you're... Oh, they're charging for toilets. As would I. As would I. Some restaurants and snack places. So you can see the formation of the actual stilts here. Show you this and how cute that is. Folklore by the Sea is what it's called, and it's actually so pretty. And to show you it with the stilts in the background too. The sun is setting and we are just settling in for a relaxing evening. After this we are heading home because we're leaving Penang tomorrow. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to leave me a comment on anything that you've seen. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.